Yes.
Here we go. And today is going to be a fun interview because we are going to have Rip and Jane Esselstyn, and we're going to talk about their latest cookbook, the Engine 2 Cookbook. Can you see it? It is absolutely wonderful. More than 130 lip-smacking, rib-sticking, body-slimming recipes to live plant strong. And I feel the music coming on pretty soon. I know how to do that. Okay, it's time to dance. This is what we do. So this is part of the exercise. There we go. I love this, brother.
We make mistakes.
I wish you, make some noise so that I can.
Yeah. Like your best day.
There you go. That's how you do it. Go ahead, Rip. Say something.
You're in need.
You're in need. I don't know this song, but I'm singing it. Yes, I am.
A friend who can count.
Oh, yeah.
Here
we go.
Nice. I
Get
love
closer
that.
to your mic because
This
it
is
didn't
a place
pick
you
up.
can always turn to when
Oh,
you
then
the Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friends. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful best day ever. And for those of you who are new to the Lillian McDermott radio show, the purpose of the show is to provide a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening friend, and my viewing friends as well, that you will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Today, I'm telling you, we're in for a treat. We have a dynamic duo that has been doing this their whole entire life, putting together some great thoughts, some great family dynamics that will hopefully encourage you to change the way you look at food. So here we go. So today we are giving away, I'm telling you right now, because I'm going to make it very, very difficult. I'm going to say 25 caller or texter. So you better get started because this is a special book. It is called The Engine 2 Cookbook, more than 130 lip-smacking, rib-sticking, body-slimming recipes to live plant strong. For those of you who think eating plant strong or whole food plant-based or vegan is for sissies, think again. If firefighters can love these recipes, so can you. 25th caller or texter 407-373-5959. As you know, I love the documentary Forks Over Knives. It's when I coach people. It's one of the first documentaries that I tell people to watch. And Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn has been on my show several times. Absolutely adore him. And he focuses on food that will help prevent and reverse disease. Well, they say that fruit doesn't fall that far from the tree because Rip Esselstyn and Jane Esselstyn are not only continuing the Plant Strong mission, they're also adding more delicious recipes that once you hear these recipes, you're going to think, wow, why am I holding on to this piece of meat that doesn't do anything good for me? I'm going to ask Rip to share what does meat do to a man when we continue our conversation. And so since it is our sole purpose in life, so we're giving away this book, 25th, I better write this down because I'll forget, 25th caller or texter. Better start now because we are going to learn, because it's our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge. And I am grateful that Rip and Jane Esselstyn are on the Lillian McDermott radio show. Thank you so much for being on here today.
Well, thank you. Great to be here.
Wonderful. Okay, so because I want to get to know you a little bit better, I want to start with who's the older? So I just want to ask. I want to be
Rip, of course.
Rip.
Can't you tell? He looks so long in the tooth. Come on.
Okay, so we'll make Rip start first, and we'll say, okay, so share a little bit about your background. And for those people that think that eating plant strong is for sissies, just tell a little bit about your background, Rip.
Yeah. So I've been eating Plant Strong since 1987. I started eating this way to kind of give me a leg up and propel me to a whole nother level with triathlons, which I did full time for almost 10 years. After doing triathlons at a world-class level for a decade, I then joined the Austin Fire Department, where I became a firefighter. And I introduced this way of eating, this Plant Strong way of eating, to the guys at Fire Station 2 in 2003, after we discovered that one of my fellow firefighting brothers was basically a heart attack waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And I got these guys to start taking the 4 major food groups of the Texas male firefighter, burgers and fajitas and pizzas and Bluebell ice cream. And we just made some really smart, intelligent substitutions. So we're still doing burgers, but we're doing black bean, brown rice, poblano burgers on a whole grain bread with caramelized onions and salsa and some guacamole. We're doing fajitas, but we're doing the fajitas with using butternut squash instead of, ground meat. We're using tofu, tempeh, portobello mushrooms with all the fixins. And we're doing pizzas, but we're not doing cheese, and we're not doing any of the meat on a whole grain crust. And we're making ice cream out of frozen mangoes or frozen bananas or blueberries or strawberries. And that's really how it started. And then that led to me writing the first book, The Engine 2 Diet. But we now know that the strongest food out there is the fruits and the vegetables and the whole grains and the beans, and that the weak food is really, it's the red meat, it's the chicken, it's the fish, it's the eggs. Yes, all these things.
And yes, and really quickly, share what happened to the guy that was a heart attack away in a 2 weeks? Was it 2 weeks?
Yeah. No, so in 28 days, he dropped his cholesterol from 344 to 196.
Unbelievable.
So
Yeah. There is no pill out there that will do that for anyone. And we're going to continue our conversation when we return. I'm going to introduce you to Jane when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Very good. Very good. So I wanted to, Oh, there we go. Jane's already dancing. Very good.
I'll be right here waiting for you.
Okay, so real quick, that diet, because we're off the air now, we're not on the air, that was a lifestyle change for your firefighter friends, your family that you have loved for. When did this happen? So in 1987 you became a firefighter, but when did the...
No, 1997 I became a firefighter, but the transition
the
happened.
triathlons. Okay.
Yeah. In 2003 is when we started doing this at Fire Station 2.
Now, so you're part of this group for a long period of time. Did you start eating like them or did you always?
I always ate well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these guys were doing whatever they wanted.
But for some reason, I thought that firefighters had one person that cooked for everybody.
It depends on the station. And we have what's called a wagon, right? Where usually you have either one person or you take turns who's cooking. Uh-huh. And most firehouses have a meat wagon. It's a meat-based meal. But we changed all that at Fire Station 2. And so, but we would alternate who shopped and then who cooked for the meals.
Very nice. This is an exciting story. Okay, so when we come back, I'm going to introduce Jane to all of you, and I think we're ready to come back. I think we are. I don't hear any music. Oh, there you go. Time to dance before we get our exercise.
Time to dance. Time to shake. Time to move.
I'm telling you, you guys win the prize of the most animated.
For a voicemail at 407-373-5955. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where I have the 2 best dancers ever that have ever come on the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. We are talking to Rip and Jane Esselstyn, and we are giving away their... Oh my gosh, this is a really good cookbook. I spent some time dissecting it. It's really good for people who think that vegan or eating healthy or eating a whole food plant-based is for sissies, think again. This is hearty comfort foods that you can convert and make healthy again. The authors of the book are Rip Esselstyn and Jane Esselstyn. They're brother and sister dynamic duo who have completely helped change the world. Now, you heard before in the first segment about Rip and how not only was he a triathlon, but he became a firefighter, which is about saving lives. But Jane, now, you became a nurse. So share a little bit about your background. And there seems to be a theme between the two of you, saving lives. So let's talk about you.
Hi. Well, that's very astute of you to glean that little pearl from that, our lives.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, it's clear to see that. But honestly, we grew up eating this way from sort of our late teens, Rip his early 20s. And, we were just for eating this way, whole food, plant-based with our parents because that's what you did at home.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't realize it was sort of sinking in and becoming what we really felt great doing. And it sort of became, I hate to say almost like a religion, but it became something we so believed in and loved and felt so much great power. And Rip was doing amazing things with triathlons, and the rest of us were also, we all have been athletes our whole lives. Rip swam for Texas. Another brother swam for Yale. I swam for Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And our youngest brother also swam for Michigan. We all did all this athletic stuff, and we never have really given up doing that. But I ate this way. I luckily married a man who was a vegetarian. And I don't know what I would have done if he was a meat eater. Thank goodness he was a vegetarian. And he then soon became vegan. But we had kids, and I always taught, believe it or not, I'm a sex ed teacher. I love teaching middle school sex ed. It's where I'm most comfortable, honestly. People would run for the hills with that job, but I love it. And
Jane, that could be another show.
It is completely. Don't trip my wire there, or I'll be lost in puberty and life changes. But I decided that I really kind of wanted to be able to teach sex ed with a little bit more, I don't know, sense of people not thinking, well, who is this person? I mean, you know how it's a tricky world out there when it comes to things, sexual discussions of any sort, especially with kids.
Sure.
So, and also I've come from this very medical family. I went through all my medical school applications and whatnot, and then, sort of pulled out thinking, I don't really want to go this route. Our dad is so convinced all of us that so much of what is out there is preventable, that to go into medicine and when, it's just memorization of all these diseases and meds, I just didn't go that route. But as things went along, we had Brian and I have 3 kids now, and I decided, okay, I'm going to go back and get my RN. So I got my RN later in life, but it's been wonderful because I've been able to do research with my RN, with the Cleveland Clinic. Yeah. I've done 2 studies with them with obese kids with high cholesterol. And it's been great to work on the books with Rip. And we hit Engine 2, his first book he talked about. And then we did another book, it's by Rip Esselstyn, but the recipes are by Jane, which was so fun. And our kids were little. So if our kids liked anything, I was like, okay, we've got kid approval. This is a good one. Yes. And then we'll probably talk about this at some point, but the 7-Day Rescue is based on a great Engine 2 immersion program that Rip runs. And because we got to writing so many books, my mom and I wrote the book, The Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease Cookbook, which is the companion book, if you will, to my father's research, which he published in a book called Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease.
Yes.
With all this love for preventing and reversing heart disease, I actually have a conference now called Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease for Women. It's sold out, but
it's sold out for this year, but next year.
But it's an annual thing. And actually this year it may have sold out because the title is really long. It's called Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease and Autoimmune Disease for Women. And it is not just for women. Anyone's allowed to come. We have, 80% who come are beautiful, strong women, and the other 20% are beautiful, strong men. Anybody who's open to learning about their own health is beautiful and strong.
Well, I tell you what, as I was researching the two of you last night, I thought, what a wonderful theme that both of you have gone outside the box and taken your father's work. Like I said, fruit doesn't fall that far from the tree, and you guys have just ripened all these recipes, made them even more attractive to somebody who says, I do not want to give up my meat. And I have a hard time dealing with that. As a life coach, I always say, well, aren't you more powerful? Aren't you more valuable than a piece of meat? So let's talk about that piece of meat, Rip. You have given talks on, I think you did a TED Talk on the 5-headed dragon.
Yeah.
Talk about what food, dairy and eggs and all of that. Share a little bit about the diseases that can manifest in our body when we have animal products.
Yeah. So the thing is that all muscle, whether it comes like in the form of red meat, chicken, fish, or even an egg in a shell, you've got all the building blocks to promote chronic Western disease. So you're laying the foundation for heart disease, for insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, for the major cancers that are out there, for obesity. And so what you have really in animal products and animal byproducts is you have unnecessary animal cholesterol. We don't need any cholesterol in our diets. Our livers produce all we need naturally. What you also have is you have varying amounts of saturated fat. In red meat, the average piece of red meat is 40% saturated fat. Chicken is 30% saturated fat, and salmon's 20% saturated fat. And there's no requirement for us as human beings to take in any saturated fat. All we need are the essential, what are called omega-3s and omega-6s that you're going to get in abundance from plants. We also have, and this is a real kind of a hard one for people to get their minds around, but you have a weak, insidiously destructive form of protein. And the protein you're going to get from meat or dairy products, it bashes your organs, specifically the liver and the kidneys. It inflames the arteries, making it easier to lay down plaque formations. It actually incites tumors and cancers, and it raises cholesterol levels. And as a female, what it does is it also siphons calcium from your bones to buffer the acid load that's created from these animal proteins. So it's just really, really bad. And that's just on the very, very like high level. You've also got something called heterocyclic amines that when you cook meat, they're carcinogens. You've got lecithin and carnitine that are bad pajamas. You've got hem iron that's an oxidative, creates oxidative stress in our system. So I just don't know when to stop.
So here's the question, because I want you to speak to men, because men think that if they eat a lot of meat, they're going to be very virile and strong. And you talk about how meat can cause erectile dysfunction as well in men. Yeah.
And Jane actually.
Yeah, you're getting below the belt, which is where I am most comfortable. But no,
okay, perfect. Go ahead.
I think Rip should speak a little bit to it first for men to hear.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but you talked about slaying the dragon. Lily, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And so I always tell guys, listen, if you want your Puff the Magic Dragon to roar, which I know you all do, then you want to get away from the meat and you want to get away from the dairy, because these products will basically clog up the artery to the penis first and foremost. And as Jane can describe, it's because it's the smallest artery in our bodies, and it's kind of the canary in the coal mine when it comes to letting you know that you've got the beginning as a heart disease.
Okay.
It's the canary in the trousers. It's the canary in the trousers.
Tweet. We need to just say it as it is, because we think that men get these plaques in women. If you eat 65 ounces of meat, you get this plaque on a wall, and somehow you're a hero. But in reality, Jane, it does the opposite, right?
Yeah, it's one of the healthiest things that can happen to people, to men, and is that they get good blood flow through their whole body, and their body responds in certain ways, especially below the belt. Mm-hmm. And it's a good sign of health if things can happen. And it really is the canary in the trousers. If a male, if your partner, whoever you're with, or even if you're alone, if things aren't responding how it should, then that really is a barometer of your overall health. Because not to get too deep on the radio, but if you can see that an artery has a an innermost lining. I compare it to like the silky lining inside your favorite sport coat. You know, you have a nice wool exterior, but inside it's the silky, beautiful, slippery lining. So that beautiful lining is called the endothelial cells, and they release nitric oxide that makes this vessel go from this size to this size.
Yeah.
So the fact that it can dilate is a big deal. Not a lot of things can do that in nature. Our pupils can, our vessels can, only our arteries can. So if the penile artery cannot dilate because of this plaque and, you know, all this buildup from the standard American diet.
And it can be reversed, Jane?
If people, it can, yes, it can be reversed.
Go ahead, Rip. Go ahead, Rip.
And let me also say that, Jane, what's interesting is that the area on the male body that has more endothelial cells per square inch than any other part is the penis area.
Okay.
So you start eating your green leafies and your mangoes and your bananas and your brown rice, and all of a sudden you start flooding those endothelial cells with all these great nitrates that can turn into nitric oxide. And you're off to the races, and now your Puff the Magic Dragon has come back to life. Yeah.
You're back to your fighting trim like you were in college. But
yes, there we go. Okay, so let's talk about roasted cauliflower steak, which is one of your recipes, and so easy. All your recipes I was looking are so easy to do. So Jane, since you're the creator, right? Did you create this one? Okay.
Well, actually, this was actually, I think this was Rip's one, but let me just say, our recipes, we try to make them be delicious and simple, because that's how eating should be. If you want to go complex, all kinds of opportunities are out there. And some of our feedback on Amazon to our book has been, these recipes only have 2 or 3 ingredients. And we're like, yeah, isn't that great?
Yes.
And it can be so tasty. And this actually is a recipe that Rip
you created this recipe.
Yeah, and we have it on an axe, I think, in the book. We're serving it on an axe.
Oh, that's right. Is that what that is? Okay.
It's a fire axe.
It's a pickhead axe.
Oh, it's a pickhead axe. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
So the ingredients on this one is a head of cauliflower, 2 tablespoons of low sodium tamari or Bragg's liquid aminos, and 2 to 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast.
Yeah.
How close to a steak does this taste?
Well, you know what? To me, it doesn't taste like a steak. And if that's what you're going for, you'll probably be disappointed. But what it does is it takes the cauliflower that is such an amazing, versatile vegetable.
Yes.
And you can infuse it with the flavor of the low sodium tamari with the nutritional yeast. And it has this nutty, roasted, amazing, soft kind of texture. And it is like insane. And the cauliflower to me in 2018-19 is going to become the next kale. It is so versatile. It's a superfood. It's awesome.
Awesome. And so this is more recipes for you to get your little hands on. 25th caller or texter, 407-373-5959.
Big hands.
That's big hands. 407-373, jazz hands, 5959. I'll say it one more time, 407-373-5959. And we're going to continue our conversation with Jane and Rip Esselstyn when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Okay, so while we're off the air, let's talk about breakfast and the importance of breakfast. Who would like to, while we're off the air, tell us the importance of breakfast? Anyone? Bueller?
Wait.
Breakfast. She wants to know about breakfast, and who wants to talk about breakfast?
I think Rip has a wonderful breakfast he has almost every day that would be cool to hear about, because he eats oats, but they're raw. They're not cooked. They're just raw rolled oats. And that's kind of.
So would you like to share that recipe? Which one is that one in the cookbook?
Well, actually, Jane.
Or do you want me to? I'll talk.
I think the crisp baked. The crisp baked.
I was looking at that one. You know what? I was looking at that.
I'd love to talk about that.
Okay,
how about if you let me do a quick intro, and then Jane, you talk about it.
Well, no, we're doing it right now. It's recording right now. We're talking about it off the air. Remember, it's a show on the show. Now, this recipe, because I love to cook too, and I love to prepare and prep, and this is what got me, was that particular one, which is the crisp oatmeal. So can you make that instead of on top of the stove? Can you bake it in a muffin pan?
You can get back to me and tell me if it worked when you tried it.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'd like that tomorrow morning ASAP,
Yeah.
please.
Yes. So tell us about your crisp baked super surprise oatmeal.
Well, Jane, I want you to talk about it, but first let me just say, what's interesting is, so we throw these 7-day immersion programs in the Red Rock Mountains of Sedona, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there, and one of the people that works at the retreat center told us about how, I think it was a friend of his that left this oatmeal on the stove for an hour, but it was at low heat, and how it turned out like magnificent. And so Jane took it and ran with it and has done all kinds of things to enhance it. So Jane, go for it.
Nice.
No, it's exactly that. Actually, it was their friend who was European. So in Europe, everyone has a little low gas, those little tiny stoves.
Yeah.
So the person turned on the low gas and went out for a walk or whatever. For 1 hour, they were gone. And when they came home, what is amazing with this is what happened to them is that the low heat creates this shell around the base and all the sides. It doesn't burn it, but it makes this shell. So when they took this out, they turned it upside down to like throw it away. And it was like this crispy upside down cake thing. And we didn't want to turn it upside down in the cookbook here. So we just kind of show how it's sliceable in the background. Because
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a wonderful mix of oats and some water, but there's a lot of water that comes from the fruit you put in, and you can choose to put, a banana or half a banana and some plums or berries or whatever. We always put flaxseed and chia in almost every breakfast that we have in our book, because you definitely want to get those high in omega-3 ingredients. And anyway, but this is a delicious thing, and you can cut it in two and share it with somebody, or
No,
you can
I wouldn't
eat the
share.
whole darn thing yourself.
I'm not sure. I'm going to eat the whole thing by myself. And so here we go. I hear the music already. There we go. It's time to dance, you guys.
Oh, time to dance.
Count on me. I'll be right here waiting for you.
Hey,
Very good.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at
When you talk and you
407-373-5959.
get closer to your mic. So
Once
that-
again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow with one another. And you can hear us worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. I am your host, Lillian McDermott, and today we have such an incredible treat. We have Rip Esselstyn and Jane Esselstyn, and we are talking about their latest cookbook. Well, the two of them collaborated on this one, and it's the Engine 2 Cookbook, more than 130 lip-smacking, rib-sticking, body-slimming recipes to live plant strong. You guys are taking what your parents started, or your father started a long time ago, and have just up it up a notch to the point where people who feel that they can't let go of their standard American diet, it will give them the curiosity to try it, because you have some of the similar recipes. For those of you who are following or listening today, I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com and learn more about the show. Please become a subscriber. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Just like me and subscribe. But today you have an opportunity to get a free copy of this awesome book. Be the 25th caller or texter, 407-373-5959. That's 407-373-5959. And so today, I want to kind of highlight some of these recipes. During the break, we talked about one of the recipes, which was an oatmeal crisp recipe. Mm-hmm. And so for those of you who want to go to YouTube, that you will be able to hear that conversation as well. Now, we're going to switch it, because a lot of these shows, and Rip, I'm going to ask you to share a little bit about what your thought process was. And I'm going to go straight to the brats. And
oh, those are so great. Good call.
Did you, Jane, did you make this recipe? Who was the creator of this recipe?
A friend of, well, Rip, you tell. It's a great story.
No, this was a friend. Her name is Renee DeMann. And she was on a mission from God.
God. The mission from God.
The brat God. The God of all brats.
To try and create a plant-strong hot dog that she could make on any surface. She could bake it. She could put it on a grill. She could put it on in a frying pan. and she discovered it. And she uses a brown rice kind of wrap paper, and you just kind of throw in there.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
Isn't it?
Oh my God.
That is brilliant. You can
Yeah,
do that with
yeah.
vegetables, like
Yes.
the Chinese
Yeah.
restaurant that
Yeah.
that's what.
But then you can like grill them, you can bake them, you can, put them in a frying pan, obviously not without oil, but, and it's just miraculous what you can do with this.
Very good. Well,
And they don't fall apart. They don't crumble. It's just amazing.
Jane, when you heard about this, I mean, you love to experience, the kitchen
Yes.
and share and love people within the kitchen. So when you heard that something as simple as the rice.
No, it was the craziest thing. With the whole book was done. The whole book was photographed. The whole book was like literally on its way to the printers, going, typing in all the. He said, Rip said, stop the presses.
Oh my
This
gosh.
has got to be inserted. Jane, I don't care what you say. And I'm like, Rip, are you kidding me? All the photography's done, everything's done, everything's edited. He's like, no, we'll take something out. I don't care. This is getting in there. And I was like, what in the world can this be? And as soon as he showed me the recipe and he was talking about it nonstop, I thought, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. She has worked. She was on a mission from the brat gods to get this worked out.
It's called epic brats.
Epic brats. They are epic.
And she said it took her 2 years to perfect it.
2 years. How did you meet Renee?
Well, so I have a relationship with Whole Food Market stores.
Yes.
And she was a store team leader at one of the stores in New Jersey. And she also came to one of our 7-day immersion programs in 2012. So that's how I know her. Yeah.
That is amazing. So all these pictures turned out beautifully.
Thank you.
Now, did you take the pictures, Jane? Because
I didn't take the pictures. Donna Turner Ruhlman was our photographer. But as you can imagine, doing photography for a cookbook, I don't know if you've done that before, but it's a Rubik's Cube of thinking, planning, shopping, prepping, mise en place, baking halfway, cooking halfway, setting up, propping. It's just a lot of spinning plates. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No. But I sometimes, because I promote healthy living, a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. Dr. Joel Furman, who was also featured in Forks Over Knives, is a regular on my show. Your father's been on my show. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn has been on my show several times. I promote this lifestyle, although not everybody is ready. But this is like inching people closer to trying, being curious about something and considering this, because these are some of the recipes that are making us sick. The standard American diet, the hot dogs, is a huge carcinogen. All these different flavors that we think are just loving our body is not doing us any good. So let's talk about, when you presented, what was it about this recipe, Rip, about the epic brats? And you have different recipes. You have the Mexican style, Italian style, American style, Indian style, Thai style. I mean, you covered all. Were these your recipes, or did this come from the imagination of Renee?
No, this was all the creativity and imagination of Renee. Yes.
Unbelievable.
That's why we had to stop the presses and get it in there, because she did a beautiful job, and all credit to her on that one, for like dialing in the different flavors. And the way the different flavors are made, because since it's radio, I want to describe it, is that the filling that instead of having a round brown rice wrap, and you put your vermicelli and your vegetables and a basil leaf to make a spring roll, you're filling the brown rice wrap with basically almost like veggie burger. Yeah. Like when we make a veggie burger, like our veggie burgers we smash up beans and oats and all this stuff. But she did that, and she's created different flavors or flavor profiles of veggie burger filling to put inside of this brown rice wrap, and then you roll it up and put it in the refrigerator. And anyway, it's ingenious.
It is. And be the 25th caller or texter to win this book. It is called The Engine 2 Cookbook, more than 130 lip smacking. I love this part because this is really what is killing us. This needing to smack our lips and rib sticking, body slimming. Well, that body slimming part doesn't go in the standard American diet, but everything else. So this recipe, okay, so Rip, let's go back. Have you presented this to the Engine 2 gang?
Well, you know what? I have not gone back to the Engine 2 gang to present this. However, I've had 2 of the Engine 2 gang come to my offices at Whole Foods, and I've given them the Engine 2 cookbook. So that's been a lot of fun. But I've also I was just doing an event last week in Phoenix and Sedona and Flagstaff, and I've had firefighters come up and tell me that they and their departments or various stations are doing the Engine 2 program. And so it's just amazing how you don't even know what kind of an impact you're making, and then you get out on the road and you hear about all these great success stories and people that are changing the way they eat.
Very good. And so
everywhere I go, people are doing the 7-day rescue, which is this.
So let's talk about the 7-day rescue diet. Who would like to talk about that?
Rip's got a great spin on it.
Okay, go ahead, Rip.
So
this is the recipes.
You know what? The recipes are so important because that's they say the way to a man's heart is through the stomach, right?
And even with the kale blueberry muffins, sorry, I had to show that beautiful picture.
Beautiful.
And so I do want Jane to talk about the recipes because they're very unique. They're not like any other recipes in any other of our books. But the 7-day program, it's a accelerated, enhanced, super powerful program where we're going for maximum results in the shortest period of time. And so this is not for the faint of heart. This is for people that really want to rescue their health. They've got a long way to go. They got to lose weight. They've got to reverse their heart disease. They've got to reverse their diabetes. They want to do everything they can to slow down, prevent cancer. And so this is the power program. And it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Anybody can do anything for 7 days. And if you need to clean up your act, if you're vegan or plant-based, but you're doing a lot of the vegan junk foods, this is your opportunity to basically refine and reprogram your taste buds.
And where can we find out more about this immersion program, or just to get the book?
engine2.com. You can go there.
Engine2.com.
Yeah.
Amazon. But go to Amazon to get the books, and they're all on Amazon.
But do you currently do the immersion? Do people come to a boot camp?
We do. We throw the immersion programs. You can go to engine2.com, click on events, and we throw them in Sedona and Asheville, North Carolina.
Very nice. And for those of you who would like to go to engine2.com, you would be able to figure out a little bit more if this is something that is going to be something that you want to do. But here's the deal. You can get the cookbook for free, the 25th caller or texter, the Engine 2 cookbook that has more than 130 lip smacking, rib sticking, body slimming recipes these are to live for recipes, to live plant strong. And we're going to continue our conversation. Again, I'm going to give the number, 407-373-5959. If you really, really want this book, you better keep trying because the 25th caller or texter is going to get it. And you can also go to Amazon and get your own copy or engine2.com for that as well. Now, during the break, we're going to talk about another recipe. So I encourage you, when you're done listening to the show, go to YouTube and get my YouTube channel and watch it again. Okay, this is Lillian McDermott. We're going to continue our conversation with Rip and Jane when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you.
Waiting for you.
Okay, we're going to have to stop. We're going to have Rip, you're going to have to say something really loud so it'll pick you up because I really want to capture the dance.
You guys sing along, Rip, just say woohoo, woohoo.
I'm singing along and I'm dancing. I don't see my face, but I'm dancing.
We got you. Yeah, that's it. You guys are the best. You get the award for the best dancers on the Lillian McDermott radio show. I love it. It must be a wonderful party at your house when you guys get together.
Well, yeah, there's 20 of us now.
20.
There's four. Rip and I are there's 4 siblings, and we all are married, and we all have kids.
Lily, do it go by Lily or Lillian?
Lily is okay.
Lily, you need to come and join one of our dance parties.
Well,
Yes.
I'll give you my address, or you can email me. I would love. Do you know that I just wrote an article? It's it publishes on Thursday, and this show is going to be seen on Friday. But it's called Love with Urgency, and I go through this. You know, what would you do if you were given 1 week to live? How would you want to live your last week? And so I go through my analysis of what I would do,
And you would dance.
and I would dance.
I would dance.
After I tell them how much I love them and ask for forgiveness for anything that's been, I would dance the song Suavemente, Besame. You know that song, and you just like it goes into this merengue. And so I would dance with every single one. As a matter of fact, that's going to be my last song at my memorial service. I want everybody to leave dancing. So that's going to be my.
I need to get that song because
Elvis Crespo. Elvis Crespo.
It's Cresco.
No, Crespo. Like crisp, like that oatmeal crisp. Crespo.
Crispo. Crespo.
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 Like cress, like a cress. Crespo. Elvis Crespo. I'll play, like, I think I can only play 10 seconds of the song. What are the rules here? So I had it. We just did a show on it. I'll just play it really quick. See if I can get it for you. But it's called Suavemente, and you're going to want to dance to this one. Hold on a second. I would love to go to one of your parties. Here we go.
Suavemente, bésame, que quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez. Suavemente, bésame, que quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez. Suave, bésame, bésame, bésame otra vez.
Woo, woo. Okay, I think I violated every rule right now. So, okay, we got our exercise here. Yes, I will bring the music. I just need the invitation. Okay, and so we are. This is our last. Oh my gosh! I wish you could see.
Make some noise!
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow with one another. Today's teachers are Jane Esselstyn and Rip Esselstyn. I'm going to say them, the brother and sister team, dynamic duo, who were raised by wonderful parents, the Esselstyns, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, and Anne, who is a beautiful, beautiful woman. I've had the privilege of meeting both of them. Dr. Esselstyn's been on the show twice. Of course, every single one of you, as part of your education for food, I would encourage you to watch Forks Over Knives. That is a documentary, and I told this to Dr. Esselstyn. I had the privilege to be able to say this to him on and off the air, that he changed my life. That documentary changed my life, changed the pattern of my life. And so I am passionate about how food, you can make a fork, that what's at the end of the fork can heal every cell in your body, or it could destroy your body as well. You know, we talk about how we talk about food addictions, and we talk about, when you think about, food, the people that are anorexic or have bulimia as an issue, right? But we don't think about the people that are addicted to the standard American diet. That's doing more damage and harm to people than anything that we could imagine. But yet, this is the food that we eat to celebrate, the food that we eat when we are sad, the food that we eat all the time. We need to change that. We need to look at addictions differently. And in this book, for those of you who just cannot give, you'll say the song is like, I would do anything for health, but I won't give up my meat. So that is part of what we need to do, is reformat, I'm just like, we were dancing off the air. So I'm still like high up on this.
You're all worked up.
I'm all verklempt. Okay, so the Engine 2 cookbook has more than 130 lip smacking, rib sticking. I love that because that is what it causes us so much problems. We think that that is healing our body and it's causing us so many harmful side effects. And so this is a cookbook that you can take that mentality and still be eating healthy. They've taken something that Dr. Esselstyn started a long time ago and brought it up a notch with these 130 recipes to live plant strong. And the main word is to live for. These are recipes to live for. And be the 25th caller or texter, 407-373-5959, and you get a copy. Oh, we're going to talk about that.
They're just beautiful recipes. Look, these are all different kinds of hummus. I would call them my hummi. Of hummuses. But there's kale butter, beet butter, romesco sauce, this great secretariat sauce made with amazing ingredients, but edamame hummus. There's so many different things and different pasta sauces.
Lo mein noodles. I mean, you guys go through all the recipes that get us in trouble, and you have made them healthy. Go ahead. What is that?
Those are beer biscuits and true grit gravy. And if you don't think a man needs anything but this, you're right. True grit gravy and beer biscuits.
And Lillian, and the purpose of this book was to hearken back to kind of the roots and the genesis, which was, how do you get a bunch of Texas male firefighters to embrace this way of eating? You got to make it lip smacking, rib sticking, and like body slimming. So
you guys did a great job. I just want to encourage at least one of you who's listening today or viewing us to try some of these recipes, because, you know, if the taste can hurt you, the taste can also set you free. So, you know, let's go by what is inside the taste as opposed to just the taste. And so let's shift, because I know that Jane, we have
I'm showing off these bowls.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about that one real quick.
No, the bowls are a big deal in this way of eating for us. We have discovered that, you know, preparing a big, huge, enormous paella or a big lasagna that not maybe everyone will love, even though our lasagna is amazing.
Yes.
Sometimes building your own bowl, or having the components for your family to build their own bowl, or your friends, or whatever your meal's around, having them build your own bowl really is a way to make it successful. If it's a breakfast bowl, raw oats, cooked oats, whole steel cut oats, whatever kind of oats you want, you know, with fruit, berries, bananas, and some non-dairy milk. Boom, bowl, go. Lunch, build your own, of course, have a salad, and we call them build your own flats. A flat is just basically an open face sandwich, because we're encouraging people to have so much on top of their sandwich that they can get don't worry about getting your mouth around the second piece of bread. Just fill it up so you're having basically like a huge salad on top of your not salad, sounds so empty, but like you know, beans and hummus and tomatoes, avocado, whatever you want on your sandwich. And then for dinner, bowls, big, beautiful bowls of food. Soba noodle bowl, teriyaki tofu bowl, farro bowl, polenta bowl,
potato bowl,
sweet potato bowl, on and on and on and on. It is so empowering to make your own. Chipotle has brought that style of eating to America.
Yes.
And build your own deal. And you can go through and you can get awful things. You can get cheese and meat and sour cream but you can also go through and get beautiful stuff on your bowl.
You know, it's great that you said Chipotle, because Chipotle is the only fast food restaurant I go to. If I'm going to go to anything, I look for a Chipotle, because I know that they're reliable and I can choose healthier options for me. And they have great I'm not getting paid by them, or they're not even sponsored. But
I'm not encouraging eating there. I'm just saying that style of build your own.
That's right. That's right. But it's the only fast food restaurant I can go to and know that I'm going to at least be able to make some good choices. And
brown rice and vegetables and beans.
So let's talk about burgers. You have pizza recipes here. You have, of course, pancakes, waffles. Let's talk about sweeteners. Sugar is just a horrible a cause for disease, inflammation in the body. So you have maple syrup. You use maple syrup. You're also using some flour in these recipes. Let's talk about why is maple syrup better than...
Wait, flour's not a sweetener. What do you...
No. You're using flours, and you're also using maple syrup for a sweetener. For the and most of the times we're thinking, okay, whole food, plant based, you can't do the flour. So share a little bit about how we can combine this to Plant Strong.
Well, one of the things that I think it's important for people to know is that the average American right now consumes 30 to 40 added teaspoons of sugar a day.
Yeah.
Right. So Jane and I, in our recipes, we don't mind if we do a little bit of maple syrup. It's probably one of the healthiest sweeteners that's out there just because it has some vitamins and minerals in it. But the big thing is we just, instead of doing 30 to 40 added teaspoons of sugar a day, we want people to do more like 2 or 3 added teaspoons of sugar a day.
Very good.
Or none. But like Jane and I, we have maple syrup in some of our sauces, some of our salad dressings and stuff like that, some of our desserts, Jane, right?
Yes.
So, I mean,
we do. And we also, and dates occasionally, but.
Yeah.
Well,
and then with the flour, the problem is most Americans, they don't know how to read labels. They don't know how to read ingredients, and they don't know when something is a really 100% whole grain or if it's just like wheat or whatever. And so that's the problem there. And so Jane and I, we don't mind doing bread or pancakes or waffles, but we want to make sure we're using 100% whole grains, or we use rolled oats, right? And
good.
Down, something like that.
Great point. Yeah. Great point.
Flour is plant-based. I mean, we eat whole wheat flour and oat flour. You look like
very good. Very good. No, that is absolutely. I just wanted to make sure that we know that the bleach stuff, we need to keep away from anything bleach. But this is such a well-rounded cookbook. Again, 25th caller or texter 407-373-5959. I want to thank the two of you. We're going to, after the show, I want to go over some of the sweet desserts because I want people to be able to see that you can, from the beginning of your day to the end of the day, and that little extra treat, that there is something for them in this cookbook. It's the Engine 2 cookbook, and it is a wonderful, wonderful way to make that transition if you still want to have that burger or the pizza or the burrito. All the recipes are here, and you can make it healthy. Thank you so much, Jane. I really do appreciate you. And
thank you.
And Rip, thank you so much. Great dancing today. The best dancing duo that I've had on my show. And to you, my listening friend, be the 25th caller or texter and win a free copy of this book and start living your life. And this is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever! Okay, so I want to look at some of these recipes real quick. I don't know if you have a little bit extra time, but I want to go over some of the chocolate. Let's talk about the chocolates here. We're like right before Valentine's Day. In my article, I say, instead of buying sweet chocolates, go and tell the people that you love how much you love them and dance with them. And so let's talk about making some wonderful desserts. Who created the frozen frosted fudge square?
I did.
I figured it was the woman.
Yeah. The frozen frosted fudge squares is so fun because this recipe,
isn't that beautiful? These pictures are beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, Donna did a great job. Donna Turner Ruhlman. All credit to her. This is so fun because we use cocoa powder, which is had a lot of the cocoa butter, the cocoa fat taken out of it.
The real chocolate.
Yeah, and then we have maple syrup in there. But another sweetener in this is a sweet potato. And it's so interesting because it's a cooked sweet potato, and when you freeze everything, it just stiffens. So it's a frozen like fudge square. It's just it's so different, it's so yummy. And we couldn't make a photograph work because it was so dark. If you've ever tried to photograph like a black dog or a black cat or something chocolate, it doesn't really work. You have to put something on top, strawberries or a colorful collar. Yeah. Anyway, we put pistachios on top of this to make it really pop, and it's a beautiful dessert, and it's really delicious. But speaking of chocolate, our other book here, Plant Strong, the
Mhm.
reason I'm bringing up this book from Engine 2 is that this cake, the Adonis cake,
Ooh.
is such a winner. This Adonis cake is made with, again, just cocoa powder is the only chocolate we use.
Mhm.
And
So what is the difference between cocoa or cacao, or is there a preference? Does it taste different, or is there?
it's
Can
just
you
the way
use
you
either or?
it is the way you were pronouncing it, love. Cacao.
Oh,
Cacao.
okay.
Cacao
No.
nib.
Oh, okay. So cacao and cocoa are the same thing.
Well, from my understanding, it's just it's kind of a more a little bougie way of talking about it all.
Okay. So good. It's good because
I'm gonna use cocoa. I'm gonna go with cocoa. I don't even use cacao.
cacao.
Cacao. Maybe in
It's
LA,
it's
in
even-
LA they have cacao.
But because I bought something that was cocoa and it tasted different than my cacao. So I was wondering if
there is. I think it's a little less processed.
okay. So the cacao is less processed.
I mean, and processed, I mean like maybe more ground up or less ground up or whatever. I'm no expert, and you're gonna get emails saying what you're talking about. So I'm gonna stop right there.
I just thought I'd ask.
Is the cacao doesn't have any sweetener in it, and does cocoa have a little added sweetener
I know
in it?
carob has a little added sweetener, but there's.
I thought Carrot left us in the 80s. Didn't it leave us in the 80s? It hasn't haunted us since then, has it?
Yeah, I just recently found some raw carob and raw cacao, and it doesn't have any sugar in it. And so I use it with my module dates to make cakes and pastries and different things that I absolutely love. I actually put it in my my hot beverages, so it gives it that sweetener, and it's the whole food still. And so, I just didn't know if there was a difference. Can we use any kind of powder for that particular one? Did you try different recipes with different powders, chocolate powders?
I mostly just use the cocoa powder, and I haven't. I wanted to go with things that you could find at any grocery store.
Got it.
Just it doesn't have. It's certainly not Whole Foods only, and certainly not whatever local fancier grocery store, not fancy, but health food stores you might have. I wanted it to really come from Kroger's or Heinen's is our local store, or Giant Eagle, Wegmans. I mean, I don't know where People's. No, is it called People's?
Publix.
I knew it was something with you. I knew it was something with the population of people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at the difference between cocoa and cacao. That's why I'm a little distracted. And
I can't believe how much time we're spending on cocoa. And
I know, it's ridiculous.
So while she's doing that, Rip, is there anything that you would like to share with my viewing friends before we go? That is is this your most favorite book so far, or why?
Every one of them is one of my babies.
Babies, yeah.
And I'm really, really proud of this book. This is the third that Jane and I have worked on together. Yeah. And Jane really put her nose to the grindstone and did an amazing job with these recipes. And I think for people that want to add a bunch of amazing, lip smacking, killer recipes to the repertoire, pick up the book and go through and find 5 or 6 from each section that you love.
I'm telling you, I'm excited. This weekend I have my grandchildren are going to be visiting.
Grandchildren? You look like you're 12.
I'm 54.
Wow.
I'm 52 and I have 3 teenagers.
My children are grown. My baby is 27.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Rip's baby's like 3.
Your baby is 3?
I'm 54 as well.
Oh, you're 54? I'll be 55 in May. When will you be
55 in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So you're a little older than me.
I know. I sense that. I really did.
Okay, raw cacao powder is made by cold pressing unroasted cocoa beans. This process keeps the enzymes in the cocoa and removes the fat, the cacao butter. Mm-hmm. Cocoa looks the same, but it's not. Cocoa powder is raw cacao that's been roasted at high temperatures.
Got it. So basically we could substitute whatever we feel comfortable with. I think the point that you guys that made beautifully throughout the book is that whatever you're doing, you can make it better and make it healthier for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For the body. And this is an amazing book. I'm excited that we get to highlight it today on the Lillian McDermott radio show. And I'm thankful. And Jane, you're welcome. Both of you are welcome back anytime on the Lillian McDermott radio show. But I want to do a specific invitation to you, Jane, if you want to come on and talk about sexual health or sex ed for how to speak to our children. Instead of calling it birds and the bees, we'll call it what we need to call it. And and have an open discussion with us so that our children can learn a new truth from the one that helped create them instead of the school system. Does that sound good?
Right on.
Okay. And Rip, anytime. I'll accept your invitation to go to a Esselstyn dance party.
We would love to have you.
Final word, Jane. What would you like to say?
I'm just lots of words, but go forth, onward, do it, try, go.
And let me say, in keeping with why you created this radio show, right? Mm-hmm. So for people, if you truly want to be like the most responsible you, the most authentic you, and the most truthful you, then go down the Plant Strong path. The ripple effect is profound. It's far-reaching. It checks every box imaginable. Your personal health, environmental health, and you will be in alignment with your values when it comes to kindness and compassion.
Very good. Thank you. And I'll let that be the last word. I want to thank you both for being on the Lillian McDermott radio show. And I want to thank you for watching to the end. And I look forward to our next conversation.